welcome to Test and Review. In this channel, we'll share everything about cars, overlanding, and outdoor. If you're interested in those topics, please be sure to subscribe us and be sure to turn the bell on so you can always know when we update. Today, we'll be sharing how to choose your first pod light. I struggled for so long and make so many mistakes before I finally decided to update my vehicle's lighting system. During this process, I learned a lot and I really want to share my experience with you. If you are also choosing your first overland pod light, this will be the video for you. And if you are a pro already, feel free to leave comments and share your experience. Let's jump right in! The first and the most important lesson I learned is that more watts doesn't mean the light is brighter. I know we all want to choose the brightest light, especially when they're similar price range, we want to find out which light is the brightest. So usually we would turn to look at the watts that was labeled on the light bulb. But if you look on Amazon, you'll notice the same price range, some light are 120 watts and some light are only 18 watts or even less. Does that mean that the 120 watts one are much brighter than the 18 watts one? Well, not necessarily. The power output in watts doesn't necessarily relate it to the brightness. For example, an LED light bulb would be 7 times brighter than a normal light bulb. As a result, an 18 watts LED might be brighter than a 100 watts normal bulb. So how should we be comparing the brightness of the light instead of using watts? In that case, we need lumens.
Lumen is a measure of the total amount of visible light from a lamp or light source. In short, it is how luminous or how bright a light bulb could be.
Generally speaking, the more lumen it's rating, the more light it produces. So the light will appear brighter. Does that mean it's enough with lumen? Well, as a customer or consumer, the most important measurement is actually lux.
Lux refers to the total amount of light that falls on meter square surface under a specific distance. If you're standing in front of 2 lights in a distance and one light seems brighter, it actually lux, not lumen, that gives you this feeling.
The second thing you want to know before you buy a pod light is which kind of beam pattern you want. The beam pattern can be divided into spot, flood, driving, and fog light. There's no good and bad in all those beam patterns. The most important is, does it work with the situation you're driving? It can be a really expensive light, but still become a disaster if you didn't pair it well with your circumstance. In our next video, we'll break them down and test all the beam pattern one by one. If you're interested in this, please definitely follow us and watch our next videos. It will be super helpful for you. But in short, a spotlight is a light that can reach super far away and would be great if you're driving at high speed during the night. And a floodlight is a light that can reach a wider range and would be helpful if you're driving on a curvy road like a mountain. Fog light is a light that will help you see better during extreme weather like fog, snow, or rain. It will also make your car more visible for the counter traffic. Lastly, driving light is usually performed as a substitute of your car's high beam to help you have a better views. So before you buy a pod light, make sure you know which situation would you be driving the most and make sure your pod light pairing with that. The next important factor is the color of the light. Again, we will have another video that demonstrates this in details. The general idea is white light is usually brighter and can help you see things that's closer to you really clear. On the other hand, yellow light might appear dimmer, but it can reach really far away. Another thing to take into consideration is that white light might reflecting flare during extreme weather, like raining or snowing. Yellow light is much softer and it won't reflecting any flare back into your eyes. Again, it all depends on what you need. If the place you lived in always rain or snow heavily during the winter, you might want to consider a yellow light. But if you don't really driving under all those weathers, then a white light might be a better choice. After After talking about brightness, beam pattern, and color, we should also take lighting mechanism into consideration because it will also affect how well the light perform.
There are two most common mechanisms, reflection and refraction. Most of our default driving lights are using reflection mechanism. There are a ball-shaped reflective surface that reflects the light from the bulb. If you shine this kind of light to the wall, you will see a distinct, brighter area in the center, and the surrounding area is much dimmer. Though this light transmit is uneven with a low utilization, it could usually light up a broader area. The refraction mechanism is by adding some angled filter on the pot light. The beam from the light source is refracted to a certain angle. With this refraction design, the light transmits more evenly without any shade or bright area.
The next important thing you need to know before buying a pot light is the waterproof and anti-fogging on the pot light.
Condensation and fogging happen when the light heats up the air inside. The water in the air condensed on the cooler surface. Tiny holes that release the heated air in the light are keys to solve these problems. Lights without such small pinhole could result in accumulation of the condensed water and impact the durability of brightness of this pot light.
As the waterproof capability is more concerning for most people, many might overlook this 5th grade physics. The last thing you should pay attention to before buying a pot light is the accessories, like the power cord, the mounting system, or even the assembling tools.
Most pot lights are standalone and need to purchase its own power cord and switch, but some might come together as a bundle package.
Some pot lights also have specifically designed control panel or switch for a specific vehicle, so make sure you double check before you buy, or you won't be able to install them properly. So those are the 6 important things that I learned from buying pot light for the first time. If that helps you, please give me a thumb up. And if you have anything else you want to add up, please feel free to leave in the comment. I'm always interested to learn more. In our following videos, we'll be focusing on beam pattern and color as we mentioned before. If you're interested, definitely subscribe us. I'll see you in the next video.